Yeah, so the physio and going to see Rich Bricknell, it's been a massive part of me going to see him a couple of times a week since the early days. I was back on a bike riding reasonably well in the saddle, but completely unable to walk, which is nuts. And you know, I was getting injuries or minor niggles from walking, not from riding the bike. It was the other way around than what I would have thought. So Rich was able, we did a lot of work together with Rich and a guy called Chris that works for him as well. And learning to walk, I had to learn to walk again, which was nuts. But we managed to do it. It took a while. And eventually we've got back to walking, one-legged squats, running. I was on a trampoline last week, jumping on that leg. Having that kind of intensive physio a couple of times a week has been a massive difference. That combined with the gym with Andy has meant that I've been able to recover as quick as I have been.
Oli came to see us just before Christmas, 3 months after the injury, and he literally couldn't walk into the clinic, and he developed these wonderful compensatory movement patterns and muscle imbalances as a consequence of non-weight bearing for 6 weeks and partial weight bearing for another 6 weeks. Andy Wadsworth has done a fantastic job on recruiting the gluteal muscles and the muscles around the hip, and we just needed to put this into function. And to ensure that Oli could have the correct recruitment for the biomechanics of a cyclist. Our goals were quite simple really. First of all, to gait re-education, then we had to get flexibility back into the hip, and then we had to introduce some controlled stress through the hip joint, through the repair, for that to adapt to it, and we did that with controlled plyometrics on the reformer. I would strongly advise that you don't do that. This was all done in a controlled environment. The final goal was to make Oli be able to flex and extend his hip dynamically with a neutral spine on a stable pelvis. And that's been proved a little bit more tricky than we thought, but we're getting there and we're getting good results. We want to take a positive from this disaster which Oli suffered in August. Is that I've got a feeling he will be more biomechanically efficient through going through this process, really paying attention to recruitment, position, and function. So there will be good coming out of this situation.